Well, good evening, folks. Welcome back to the attic room. Yeah, it's a sub-zero outside and it's dark, so I've done the best I can during some lights, and hopefully it comes out enough. Test making this old Parker I've just restored. I had to pretty much rebuild this, rebuild the stem at the top. It's all chewed through, but yeah, it's looking all right. I thought, well, I better give it a few smokes, make sure the stem repairs holding up properly. But so far, so good. I'm just making a burley crumble. It's burley, bit of Virginia and a bit of Kentucky, so it says, but we'll get onto that in a minute. So, and I have my friend Gandalf here. He should have appeared in a church warden video that I haven't uploaded yet, but yeah, well, he didn't. Now, I've had a few discussions recently on various platforms, and there's been a couple of the discussions have been about breaking in pipes and how people do this, what it means, etc., etc. So I kind of thought I would share my thoughts on this with you guys. I've actually written some notes because so I guess the first thing is what is breaking in a pipe. So when a pipe's newly made, obviously, I mean, a lot of you guys will know this anyway, so but many people may not. When a pipe's new, pretty much you have raw wood on the inside, and you light a fire in this effectively, and over a period of time you get a carbonisation build up of the old tobacco deposits and tars. They become a hard carbon layer on the inside of the bowl. This serves two purposes, I guess, possibly three. One is it protects the briar from burning itself. You know, it's a thermal barrier. Second reason or advantage is many people say when a pipe's broken in and it has this deposit layer, they become drier to smoke. The deposit layer helps absorb moisture out of the smoke. And the third reason, which is debatable, is well, it's not debatable. That many people who smoke, say, a strong aromatic or a very strong flavoured tobacco will dedicate that strong flavoured tobacco to a particular pipe. And the carbon layer also helps store flavours of the previous tobaccos. Some people like this. I'm undecided whether I'm a flavoured cake kind of guy or not. It never really occurred to me once until recently, sorry, but in the UK when I was staying at my friend's, who's also a pipe smoker, we did a couple of experiments where we would load up identical tobaccos but in our own different pipes, and we would exchange pipes as we were smoking through the bowls, and sometimes the tobacco was unrecognisable. You'd be very hard pushed to tell that you were smoking the same tobacco. And I know a lot of pipe design and shape may come into play, but I think a big part is the ghosting of our pipes that maybe we're unaware of also. So that's pretty much what we mean by breaking in a pipe. I think there's more subtle things going on also, like for example, I found if I get old estate pipes in that haven't been smoked for a very long time, they can get a bit loose on the tenon and mortise. But after a few smokes, when the moisture of the tobacco's been absorbed into the pipe, they tend to tighten up again, you know. So there's a few techniques, I guess. I mean, the common one, which I think most people when they start off stumble upon is kind of smoke a third of a bowl, quarter of a bowl, let it rest for a day, and build it up slowly like this. Um, I think this has its merits. However, I my personal feelings with this is that this technique is good if you are a new pipe smoker. If you've never smoked a pipe before in your life, or you've never smoked before, maybe it's a better idea with a brand new pipe, a fresh pipe, to start with quarter of a bowl, because it takes some time to build the mouth up to pipe smoking, and to like toughen the tongue up slightly. So if you're a new smoker and you might struggle to finish a whole bowl. So by loading it incrementally bigger each smoke, you are seasoning your mouth as well as seasoning the pipe. I think if you are a more experienced pipe smoker, my personal feeling is that you can just fill the pipe up, smoke it as normal. You probably have the right cadence and probably have the right habits by now. I think one thing that I do personally that I think is important, the next day or later when I come back to the pipe, I'll tap the ash out. I'll give it a bit of a scrape, and I will actually burn or smoke the last bit of dottle in the pipe. And this I think this probably helps build a carbon layer at the bottom of the pipe as well. Just that last bit. One of my pipes had a pre-carbonised layer in it, my Mastro di Paggio, and I must admit I was very impressed with it. It didn't crumble or break off. It picked up the ash well, and it's building a cake very fast. It's the only pre-carbonised pipe I've broken in. So this one's being broken in just to make sure the stem repairs are good. Yeah, and sort of lastly, I mean, there's excuse me a second, let me have a relight. And lastly, there seems to be less not mythology is just the wrong word. Old folks' tales, folklore, rumours, you name it, of the best tobaccos to use to break in your pipe. And you can probably find as many different opinions on this as there are articles on the internet, I would imagine. What I tend to do is I tend to generally, even if it's an estate pipe that's been reamed, the first one or two bowls, I generally smoke a very burley forward tobacco, just because burley smokes slower. It's a bit less aggressive on the exposed briar. I think is a bit kinder to the new briar, just to give it a pre-carbonisation with a cooler burning tobacco. That's just my personal thoughts. I guess this is a good opportunity just to switch camera angles and do a bit of a close-up of the pipe and the tobacco. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're getting it okay. Yeah, this is the close-up, obviously. The old Parker pipe. And yeah, this is the crumble cake. This is about half the size it comes in. It's quite a loose crumble, pulls apart quite easily. Don't want to go too crazy because you can end up with lots too many little bits. I tend just to pull it off in chunks, you know. Right, back to the other camera angle, I guess. Hold on, folks. Yeah, it's a really, lovely tobacco. The tin aroma is fantastic. Yeah, it almost smells a bit perique, even though it doesn't say that there's any in there. But it's a very well-rounded, very rich, very ripe. Yeah, it's just a great tobacco. And I guess the last question is, do you need to break in a pipe? Well, here, I'm not going to try and show it properly. Here's my first pipe I ever bought. I got it off eBay from Greece. I think it's Alexandria Briar. Um, it was my first pipe. I was really excited. It was my only pipe. Did I do quarter of a bowl, wait a day and wipe it with honey and all of the... No, I didn't. I just, from day one, I just loaded it up and I smoked it 2 or 3 times a day. Probably smoked it far too fast as a new pipe smoker. Hasn't done it any harm at all. You do hear other stories, other horror stories, but maybe they were just faulty bits of briar, you know, when you get a burnout. I mean, I don't smoke this one very often, actually, because it doesn't smoke that well, to be honest. It smokes well, but it burns. The drilling, the left and right orientation is wrong, but I suspect the draft hole's a little bit high, and it tends to burn one side of the bowl. I recently have started smoking it again with the thought of, well, if that's the case, eventually there'll be enough carbon deposit in the bottom to bring the bottom of the bowl height up to the draft hole height, but time will tell. So yeah, well, that was a bit of a long ramble. Yeah, well, thanks those of you who stuck with it, and yeah, yeah, just my thoughts on breaking in pipes, and yeah, do you need to do it? Probably not. Um, is there enjoyment to be had from the added ritual of the inauguration of a new pipe? Yeah, for sure there is, you know, so it adds to the enjoyment for some people. But I think it's a bit unnecessary. I mean, yeah, you know. I think just choose what feels right and goes with it. Right then, guys, I need to go and put some wood on the fire and get some dinner cooking because this time's getting on here. And thanks for your time as always. And yeah, hope to see you soon. Take care, folks, and happy smoking. Thank you very much.